The film opens with Jamie working as a sales assistant in an electronics store. His charisma and persuasive abilities make him popular with customers, as he has a talent for selling nearly anything. Throughout his shift, Jamie often flirts with Christy, a colleague whose boyfriend, Jerry, clearly disapproves of their interactions. At one point, Jamie and Christy sneak into a private room, but their plans take a turn when Christy's phone accidentally dials Jerry. Hearing their conversation, Jerry bursts in, furious and ready to confront them. Feeling embarrassed and disheveled, Jamie quickly exits the situation. Back on the sales floor, he notices Amber, an attractive customer, and seizes the chance to give her his business card, hoping to make a new connection. Before he can pursue this further, Jerry's rage escalates. Later that evening, Jamie sits quietly at a family dinner where the conversation revolves around work and accomplishments. His parents commend his younger brother, Josh, for his career achievements. When Jamie's name comes up, his mother mentions his tech skills, but Josh reveals that Jamie recently lost his job. Feeling embarrassed yet determined, Jamie explains that he is still figuring things out, and Josh suggests he look into a career in pharmaceuticals for better financial prospects. The conversation shifts to the intersection of sales and medicine, capturing Jamie's interest. Later, while on the porch, Jamie receives a call from Amber, and Josh jokes that Jamie could leverage his charm with women for profit. Motivated by Josh's suggestion, Jamie decides to investigate the pharmaceutical field and attends a training session. During the session, an engaging speaker highlights the financial opportunities in pharmaceutical sales. Inspired, Jamie immerses himself in the program, practicing diligently at home to improve. His commitment impresses the program's director, who begins to mentor him personally. After finishing his training, Jamie heads to Ohio for his first job. There, he meets Bruce Jackson, the local manager, who helps him navigate the early days of pharmaceutical sales. Bruce tells Jamie that his main goal is simple: to make a profit. On a rainy day near a hospital, Jamie tries to talk to doctors, but they ignore him. Feeling frustrated, he and Bruce go to the lobby for coffee. While there, Jamie starts chatting with a blonde woman, catching Bruce's eye. Bruce is impressed with Jamie's smooth talk and asks for advice on women. They share tips. Jamie gives dating advice while Bruce shares sales strategies. As they wait, they see Trey Hannigan, a competing rep, confidently skip the line to see a doctor. Realizing waiting is pointless, Jamie decides to visit another clinic. At the new clinic, Jamie wins over the receptionist, getting her to display his company's samples. But when the clinic's doctor walks by and disapproves of the unsolicited promotion, Jamie quickly hides a competitor's samples in his suitcase just as the receptionist, Cindy, asks him to leave. Outside, a homeless man watches as Jamie, dressed sharply, throws the rival drug samples into a dumpster, determined to make his own way to success. The next day, Jamie returns to the clinic with flowers for Cindy and her assistant, using his charm to build a better relationship. His efforts help him create a plan to get his company's drugs stocked in the clinic. Meanwhile, the homeless man continues to collect the discarded samples Jamie throws away. In the elevator, Jamie sees the blonde woman again, but she bluntly rejects him, saying his lack of status is unattractive. During lunch, Bruce criticizes Jamie for not performing well and tells him to work on connecting with important doctors. He suggests that Jamie should contact Dr. Stan, who is a key supporter of their rival, Trey. Jamie decides to approach Stan at the clinic and offers him money to learn about the doctor's preferences and needs. After a moment of hesitation, Stan agrees. The next day, Jamie follows Stan around the clinic, pretending to be his assistant to gather useful information. In the waiting area, a woman named Maggie confronts Stan, upset that her medication has gone missing. Jamie pays close attention, realizing this could complicate his plans and reveal his questionable tactics against competitors. When Stan prescribes new medication for Maggie, Jamie discreetly suggests a drug from his company, which Stan includes in her treatment. During their conversation, Stan tells Maggie about her early-stage Parkinson's diagnosis, which visibly disturbs her. She also shows Stan a strange pimple on her chest, briefly exposing it for his opinion. Later, while Jamie is organizing medication samples in his car, Maggie approaches him. When she finds out he is a pharmaceutical representative, her anger rises. She accuses him of taking advantage of her situation for profit and expresses her disgust. Jamie is taken aback and struggles to respond as Maggie walks away. Soon after, Jamie talks to Cindy on the phone about going out, but shifts the conversation to getting Maggie's number through a mutual friend. Their call is cut short when Josh, upset, interrupts to say his wife has kicked him out for watching inappropriate movies. Jamie calms Josh down and then turns his attention to Maggie. He reaches out to her and persuades her to join him for a casual outing. They meet at the cafe where Maggie works, and during their chat, she playfully offers him lunch at her place, showing that they are becoming more comfortable with each other. Later at Maggie's house, their bond grows stronger as they share a cozy night together. Maggie starts to really enjoy being with Jamie, and their relationship takes on a fun, spontaneous vibe, leading them to unexpected adventures. One night, Maggie surprises Jamie with a late visit. Her unexpected arrival excites him, and even Jamie's brother, who is nearby, notices her presence. As their intimacy grows, Jamie opens up about his past, revealing a more vulnerable side. The next morning, Trey confronts Jamie outside the clinic near the trash bins. He warns Jamie about carelessly throwing away drug samples and getting too close to Maggie. After giving his warning, Trey walks off. Soon after, a homeless man nearby asks Jamie if he has any leftover samples. Back inside the clinic, Jamie is met with a cold reception from the staff. Cindy, in particular, is upset after hearing about Jamie's questionable behavior and reputation. Feeling out of place, Jamie decides to leave and grabs takeout before heading to Maggie's. At Maggie's house, their conversation turns serious as she expresses her worries about their relationship, fearing that their casual connection might turn into something deeper than she is ready for. Noticing her discomfort, Jamie changes the subject to Trey before stepping into the restroom to gather his thoughts. Later, Maggie thinks about brushing her teeth, but instead chooses to give Jamie a massage to help him unwind. Maggie's interest starts to fade when Jamie mentions his ex, making him less attractive to her. Still, they keep the evening fun. Maggie discusses a new pill his company is working on, and Jamie offers some fitness advice. Their playful banter leads to them spending the night together. The next morning, as Jamie prepares for work, Maggie struggles with her worsening symptoms while trying to open a biscuit. Feeling frustrated, she tells Jamie not to reach out to her again, leaving him uneasy as he leaves. Later, Bruce drives Jamie and Josh, using the ride to criticize Jamie's sales numbers. Josh, facing his own marriage troubles, shares his frustrations, adding to the tension. Jamie, distracted by Maggie's comments about the ramen pill, brings it up in their conversation. Bruce doubts Jamie's expertise and whether he can manage such a significant product. They end up at a bar and run into Trey and Stan. Jamie greets them, but the mood shifts when Maggie's name is mentioned. Trey, clearly upset, loses his cool and storms out. To lighten the atmosphere, Jamie suggests introducing Stan to some women at the bar. That night, Jamie finds himself missing Maggie and wanting to talk to her, but she remains firm and hangs up when he calls. Josh notices Jamie's distraction and jokes about his crush. Meanwhile, Maggie is busy planning a trip to Canada for elderly patients. Determined to reconnect, Jamie waits outside her house all night. When Maggie returns home at dawn, his dedication moves her. Back at her place, their bond rekindles with a new intensity, as if they are discovering each other all over again. Meanwhile, Bruce drops off a batch of the new pills Jamie requested. Jamie takes advantage of the moment and promotes the product with enthusiasm, leading to its quick popularity. His success earns him a regular spot at clinics throughout the city, enhancing his professional image. One evening, Maggie surprises Jamie to celebrate his accomplishments. They mark the occasion with a fun video, but it also brings a quiet realization that their relationship has grown more serious than they anticipated. They spend almost all their free time together, fully embracing their deepening connection. During a late-night call with his mother, Jamie talks about the pills he's been selling and the compliments Maggie has given him. His mother hints that Maggie might have exaggerated to boost his confidence. This makes Jamie think about being open about his insecurities. But Maggie shifts the topic, urging him to focus on his strengths. When Jamie finds it hard to express those strengths, Maggie steps in with a heartfelt view of him that he hadn't thought of before. At a bar, Jamie shares stories about the pills with some new associates, including a blonde woman from the elevator. Her flirtation tests Jamie's loyalty to Maggie and the limits of their relationship. Staying committed, Jamie introduces Lisa to Stan before returning to Maggie. Later, while with Maggie, she feels Jamie's quick heartbeat during a kiss and worries about his health. Jamie admits that it's not a health issue. It's the first time he's told someone he loves them. This emotional moment deepens their connection, marking an important step in their relationship. Back home, Jamie is shocked to find his brother Josh watching a private video of him and Maggie. Angered by the invasion of privacy, Jamie scolds Josh, but the moment is soon overshadowed by Maggie's declining health. Struggling to open a medication jar, she realizes she's out of pills. At the clinic, Jamie finds out that Maggie has been swapping her medication for alcohol to cope. This news deeply worries Stan, who invites Jamie to a medical conference in Chicago. Initially unsure, Jamie persuades Stan to let him use his company's product. At the conference, Maggie connects with a group of Parkinson's patients, and their support encourages her to express her feelings for Jamie. Jamie throws himself into researching Parkinson's treatments consulting Stan and exploring all possible options to help Maggie. However, his intense focus on her illness starts to overwhelm Maggie, who wants to take charge of her own life. She ends their relationship despite Jamie's desperate pleas. Heartbroken, they go their separate ways, with Maggie determined to move on alone. After the breakup, Jamie throws himself into work but struggles with his emotions. When Stan asks him to deliver pills to Lisa's pajama party, Jamie agrees reluctantly. The night takes an unexpected turn when Lisa spikes his drink with intimacy pills, leaving him confused. Meanwhile, Josh awkwardly deals with his new relationship in another room. The next morning, feeling unwell, Jamie borrows Josh's car and rushes to the hospital. On the way, Josh thanks him for being there during the breakup. At the clinic, Jamie learns he has been promoted, but the news feels empty as he can't stop thinking about Maggie. While celebrating his promotion, he spots Maggie at a cafe with someone else, and her reaction to his plans to leave town lingers in his mind. Later, after finding an old video of them, he drops everything to catch her bus to Canada. He confesses his love and asks for another chance. In the end, Jamie chooses to stay with Maggie, enrolling in medical school and looking forward to their future together, content with his decision. This is where the movie ends. Subscribe if you enjoyed.